Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, we have heard about the plan by Kenya Kwanza government to sell some of parastatals in this country, KICC among others. And we have had a very heated debate on this, that why is Ruto planning to sell all those entities? Some of them are just our pride. We know if the government wanted to touch on any parastatal, they were supposed to seek the okay from the National Assembly. But Ruto was looking for a shortcut whereby he was removing that power in the National Assembly so that it is only the cabinet that can make a decision on which entity to sell, which parastatals to deal with. I don't know how they've solved that one. Is it National Assembly or the cabinet that has that power to decide when they want to sell these parastatals? But above all, the discussion has been in the National Assembly on those parastatals listed for sale. And Farahm has come out to remind Kenyans why the government went on to put up some of these parastatals under its leadership. Some came into place in 1960s. There was a reason why the government decided to be a key strategic partner in building up these properties. And Farahm has explained so nicely that during that time, there was no indigenous African people who had the money to invest in such kind of properties and maintain them. So to avoid exploitation of Africans by outsiders, the government came in so that we cannot lose our economic independence, so that we can go back into neocolonialism, whereby you can have a country but you don't control the economy, the resources, so that outsiders are the one controlling. That is dangerous for any country. When you have majority of outsiders who are in charge of the economy, they control the money, you are at risk. So Kenya was running away from that. And again, they wanted to protect Kenyans, offer job opportunities, protect them from exploitation. And indeed, those who have worked in an institution of the government, mambo exploitation haiko at that level. Listen to him shortly, then we're going to continue with this discussion.
The issue of privatization of public properties and public companies is a matter that came into the global purview.
Then, I hate to stop to interrupt.
No, I just want to talk about this cell, but then give a bit of a background to understand the philosophy and the psychology behind some of these things.
Okay.
And the ability for us to be able to protect, to protect the interests of our country. Yes. This whole idea is to rob public property in third world developing countries. Well, these things were parastatals because the idea of parastatals at the time of independence was because we did not have sufficiently empowered Africans, indigenous people who had the cash, who could buy all those things and maintain big organizations or entities like supermarkets, like Unilever at that time. So all of them had to come into the country. So there was going to be a super exploitation by the multinationals. That's why the government decided the government is going to become a strategic partner in all these things. And we created Uchumi, KNTC, ICDC. All those things were created, including the banks, that the Kenya government went into it as a stakeholder, although some of them gradually over a period of time were again privatized and allowed now the market to come in. The idea was to protect our interests ourselves. And when you look at the way the issue of oligarchs, this is how oligarchs come about. Because people from outside will come and buy your wealth at a throwaway price. When they come and buy your wealth at a throwaway price, and this progressively continues to many other strategic interest institutions or entities that were parastatals, then eventually you go back to some kind of a colonization. Because if you do not have an economic independence in your country as a society, as an indigenous people, then of course you're there still in some form of a neocolonialism. Now, for us to be able to see this, the word oligarchs came about through the privatizations of strategic government-owned, communist-owned entities in the Soviet Union and the former republics of the Soviet Union. That one ended up in the hands of just a few people. And the masses became very poor. Although, of course, somebody like Putin has now begun dismantling all that. This is a very dangerous thing. You talk about privatizing things like KICC and all those things. It has to be done in a manner that essentially is still going to protect the public interest. The reason why British telecommunication, British railways, all those British maritimes will never be privatized is because such a country, which is a developed country, still protects the interests of its own indigenous people because it fears other people will come from outside on those what they call words strategic interest, and then you become literally a colony of that country. So this is something that has got to be done with a tooth comb, and it doesn't have to be solved. Let us look at all available other ways to look at these things. And even when it's to be sold,
We are not selling
it must be sold only to somebody who has got a Kenyan, an indigenous Kenyan, and nobody else for that matter. Because then we risk taking this country back to where we were in 1963. Thank you.
Now we are continuing this panel discussion with just a quick request. For those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. According to Farahm, which is true, Ruto want to take us back to 1963, era where we do not have anything, where those who were in the power did not control anything. You depend on outsiders to run affairs here and there, and therefore you have also to take care of their interest. When they need something, you provide them with, because they were the one running the economy. We have moved away from that. So the founding fathers of this country had an idea. They were listening, and they bought into the idea to protect the country and its own indigenous African people. There was a reason for that. So Farahm is telling us that Ruto is going there, Putin way. He did it, but now even Putin himself in Russia is recovering some of those properties. He's bringing them back. He's recovering. But they want to dispose all this just because someone is focusing on it. Oh, this one is bringing profit. This one is not bringing profit. Oh, this one, the profit is too small. They even end up lying in figures. But the question remains that if we have corrupt individuals in these offices who are in charge of these parastatals, what is the work of ESCC? What is the work of DCI? What is the work of the court? To solve this, you just need to give them the independence and let them work. So that those who are corrupt, those who want to bring down these entities, they should serve as an example. It's not all about privatizing or selling that will bring solution. Solution can be found if we have a serious president who is focused on protecting the country and its own people and the properties belonging to that country. If we have the type of the late Magufuli in Tanzania, then these parastatals can be functional, they can be profitable, and they can employ so many people. But because individuals have their own wicked ideas and mind to get money, and even some individuals use foreign companies to buy these properties at a devalued value. You devalue the entity. Kama ile ya Webuye Pan Paper, it's having an example. They devalued. They ended up disposing at a very little amount of money. Na ilienda hivyo, saizi iko kwa private hands. A nuclear land that was there where they were planting the forest, ndio wakate miti watengeneze. Sasa it is in an individual hands, si mikono ya Mwafrika. That is what want to happen here. But Farahm Ali has come with a reminder. Disposing these entities is an idea to rob public properties. This is robbing. We are going to lack economic independence. It's going to be in the hands of few individuals who would want some favors from government for them to work with them. They are going to control everything. So we can end up having a government that is under capture. Mama mlikuwa mnasikia South Africa, Gupta something, Malema akiongelea. State capture. State capture can happen here in Kenya when we have so many powerful individuals in charge of the economy and the government itself has nothing. So you depend on these people. That is where the Jomo Kenyatta the late was running away from. That's where Moi was running away from. Hatukuwa tunaona wakiuza vitu. Instead they were building. So what's wrong with William Ruto building more and securing those that have been put up, bring discipline within these parastatals? His work is to come and sell all those that were put up by our great fathers. Yeye kazi yake ni kuja kuuza. Ni kama umepea mali mtoto yako, ile mali umempea kama ni properties, nyumba, nini, mashamba, to run some business here and there. Then when your son or daughter takes over inheritance, they end up disposing. Wanauza. What happened at the end of the day? They become poor, beggars. Ruto want to make Kenyans to be beggars. He want to make the next president who will come after him to be a beggar. This should not happen. And Farahm Ali has just nailed it.